Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be on some of the toughest guys to ever compete in mixed martial arts. Just a quick list. I'm sure I'm going to miss a lot of tough guys. Might have to do a part 2 just like the best boxers in MMA vid. But without wasting any more time, let's get into these picks. In no specific order, first guy I thought about, Dan Henderson. I don't even have to honestly explain why Dan should be on this list. He's a mixed martial arts legend and the definition of gut it out. A great example of his grit and toughness, his first fight against Shogun. That was a war of attrition. Absolute classic match. Michael the Count Bisping, aka the British Rocky. Bisping is without a doubt one of the toughest fighters to ever enter a cage. Took him 10 long years to become UFC champ, and boy did he stumble along the way. Brutal knockout losses, kept coming back, fought with a blind eye, basically couldn't see out of that eye. That was in the latter part of his career. The guy just keeps coming. A great display of that was when he fought Anderson Silva. Anderson landed this hellacious knee on him, basically put him out, saved by the buzzer, comes out in the next round, and if I'm not mistaken, won that round and won the decision. Bisping's always been absurdly tough. Another super tough guy that came to mind, Chris Lytle. Chris Lytle is one of my favorite fighters of all time. He's never been KO'd or submitted in over 54 mixed martial arts fights. That's insane. Doctor stoppages from cuts, yes, but never KO'd or subbed. Chris told me this himself in an interview. Just wild.
To be honest with you, I think I've had more than 54 fights. It's funny because when I started fighting back in 1998, they didn't really keep internet records very well. And fortunate for how you're born, I have a very good chin. I've never been able to be knocked out. I've been knocked down a few times, but I always recovered, never been knocked out. So that gave me the ability to say, I'm going to try to hit this guy as hard as I can. If he hits me, that's fine. I'm willing to give one, to take one, and to trade sometimes, so.
Chris the Crippler Leben. Leben is the epitome of bite down on your mouthpiece and throw caution to the wind. Slug it out. One of my favorite knockouts from Leben is when he got rocked by Terry Martin and came back in zombie mode to knock Martin out. Wild, wild finish. Tough guy.
I've always been a little bit of a slugger. They would put me in, at the time.
Yeah.
What was I? I was a year about 12, 13 years old, and, I was boxing 18, 20-year-olds.
Joanna Jedrzejczyk. I don't think anyone could ever question Joanna's heart and toughness after the fight with Zhang Weili. Wow, did Joanna take a bunch of damage and just kept coming. Her face and head were a mess. She was taking wild bombs to the face from Weili, left hooks making her head snap back. She just kept coming. Joanna, when stacked up to other fighters, male or female, as far as toughness, she's definitely one of the toughest to ever do it. One of my favorites, Dan the Outlaw Hardy. Savage, plain and simple. The guy flat out loved to fight and compete. A great example of how psychotic and tough Hardy was when he fought GSP. He was outclassed in a grappling and at one point caught in a nasty Kimura shoulder lock in the 4th round. Never tapped out, never gave up. Many men would have tapped to that Kimura. He finished a 5-round fight. This next fighter definitely deserves to be on this list. Antonio Minotauro Nogueira, aka Big Nog. One of the greatest heavyweights to ever do it, and without a doubt, one of the toughest to ever do it. He took everything Fedor had in his prime in multiple fights, brutal ground and pound, finished the matches. That pile driver from Bob Sapp would have killed most people. Big Nog taps him out with an armbar. When Frank Mir had Big Nog in a Kimura, he broke his arm. Big Nog didn't tap until his arm was broken if you rewatch that fight. Minotauro Nogueira, savage. Frankie Edgar absolutely belongs on this list. The Never Say Die Kid. Legend. As tough as they come. How about the Gray Maynard fight? That comeback. Being outsized in many of his fights, became the UFC lightweight champ. BJ Penn. Penn, like Kazushi Sakuraba, took on all comers even when he shouldn't have. He dropped some fights by simply being outsized and outmuscled. The gap was too large physically. Penn is a natural lightweight, fought at welterweight, even at open weight against Lyoto Machida when Machida was like over 200 pounds easy. BJ Penn, the epitome of a fighter. Fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. I brought up Kazushi Sakuraba earlier. Saku, aka the Gracie Hunter. Sakuraba countless times fought guys a lot bigger than him, outgunned, outsized, outstrength, It was really hard to watch him in some fights. One example, when he fought Ricardo Arona. It was a total mismatch and bad style matchup. But that was Sakuraba, took on all comers. He honestly should have never fought Vanderlei Silva, and he did that multiple times. But again, that was Saku, one of the biggest hearts in mixed martial arts. I could keep naming so many tough guys. Fedor Emelianenko, one of the GOATs, and the GOAT in the eyes of many. Fedor was absolutely about as mentally tough as you could possibly be, and he's still competing. Like an emotionless machine or robot focused on one thing, destroying you as quickly and as efficiently as possible. You never see quit in Fedor when he fights. Always going for the finish. Like I said, very mentally tough and a strong guy. I could keep going. I should make a part 2 for this video. Some honorable mentions: Matt Hughes, Khabib Nurmagomedov, another newer age guy, Tony Ferguson, Robbie Lawler, Rory MacDonald is a savage, Mike Perry. I always felt Rich Franklin was tough as hell. He knocked out Chuck Liddell after getting his arm broken. You guys feel free to drop those picks. Who do you think are some of the toughest guys in the sport of all time? I know I missed many. Like I said, I might do a part 2. If you enjoyed this segment, click subscribe, like, and share. Appreciate you guys to the max. Stay healthy and safe, and until the next one, guys, take care.